right, this is your members' first content, your top 10 in 10 for April 28th, I guess. I'm doing this on April 27th, getting it in right before the draft, the NFL draft. As you can see, I'm all ready to roll. But we got our top 10 in 10, and I'm going to drop this for members tonight. Everybody else will check this out on 4/28, which is why it's dated, for 4/28, because you guys will get, everybody else will get it tomorrow. But members, you get special treatment. And if you want to see what books I got for you, this is my top 10 hottest books on the market, things jumping out of me as far as volume sales, some price changes, etc. Yeah, if you want to see what I got for you, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Okay, so as I said, let's get to our top 10 in 10. Let me get the clock started. This is going to be our rundown. We're going to do it in 10 minutes or less. I think I could do it in less today. And yeah, here we go. As we start off every week, we're going to follow up on the Wednesday watch list, some of the new release books that came out this week, and see how they carried through once they hit the shelves and got into people's hands. So that's why we're going to start up first with the follow-up. A couple of books dropped off. They're not even selling for ratio anymore, so I don't even have to kind of cover them. But a couple of them kind of linger still. Those Marvel tales, these are always kind of tricky to guess at how they're going to play out. These 1 in 50 virgin covers, high cover prices. I think these are like $8 to start. So a lot of shops aren't going to order 50 copies to begin with, so not a lot of them are going to be on the market. This is the Rocket Raccoon one. There were copies asking for some pretty high prices earlier in the week, and I was checking on it. So here we go. Before Wednesday, there were no sales, but there were some high asking prices. We did have one that actually did go through, and it is at auction. It sold a pretty good above ratio, so pretty above that 1 in 50. So 87.78, plus shipping. It's not too bad. There's still copies out there asking for close to like $200, etc. too. So who knows how those copies are going to move or if they move, but I thought this was mildly interesting to kind of check in and say, well, one did sell at auction, and it did go up a little bit. We also had Miracle Man as well. Another 1 in 50 Marvel Tales that was released. Same day, same story, except there was one crazy high sale of $250 when I checked on this earlier in the week. Since then, this one also had an auction. That one only sold at $50. So this is what sold before Wednesday, because even that auction ended before. Actually, I think it must have been a best offer accepted, because I don't think that thing was set to end before release day. But regardless, that's what happened before Wednesday. Since Wednesday, one did sell for over $200. So a buy it now did go through on April 26th for over $200. So I don't know if this is worth it, but this is what it sold for. There's still another copy or so out there asking like 200 plus as well. Not saying anybody buy it. I'm just saying this is what happened. So just taking a look at the market, seeing what's going on, and just curious, just kind of curious. Also curious how Yoda's doing these days. Still want this book, still need this book, but I can be patient. 1 in 25, pretty awesome cover. We talked about it last week. Last week, this thing was selling for $60, $80. Pretty good. Pretty good when you think about this 1 in 25 moving for that much, triple ratio and all. But this week, it's now hitting $80, $90, $100. So it still seems to be on the uptick. And a lot of these are at auctions. Those three I got there for you are all auctions that had more than 20 bids. So there's still a lot of people out there looking for this book right now. So might have to sit and wait a little bit longer, if you're really curious and want one. That's what I'm basically going to have to do, because I don't think I'm paying these prices personally, but that's just me. Okay, what else? Sorry, I'm losing track of time here. Up next, we have Spider-Man 7. Yes, we are still talking about, little sidekick, Spider-Boy. But this time, I'm not talking about the cover, the secret cover that everybody's hunting for. This is just the cover A, which is being pulled up in the wake of the other book, which has cooled off a bit. There's copies now selling pretty consistently around $20, $25 for that secret cover. I mean, we got a second print coming as well, but 50 plus sales on the cover A. And like I said, there's the secret cover that everybody prefers, but the cover A is starting to move as well. And copies of this are selling for a consistent like $20, $25 too. So it is rising right along with that secret cover. So keep that in mind. There's also the timeless Alex Ross variant that nobody seems to really want. And then there's that one you don't really see a lot of, the Leopardon cover, which I liked, and I got that one because I just wanted Leopardon. I could care less about Spider Boy. I wanted the Leopardon cover. That one seems to be getting tougher to find. There's not that many listed for that one, so keep an eye on that too. Up next, some announcements that if they make this El Muerto movie, Tombstone might be the big bad. I still doubt this movie's going to happen, but who knows? Who knows? Bad Bunny, we'll see how he does at Backlash, coming up. But a little over 20 sales, so not a ton of movement, but enough to take notice because this book wasn't selling before. This was just cheap book fodder. Even with the prices, there's still copies selling for $5 to $10, but then some high copies selling for like 25. So again, interesting, but not craziness. Also moving, just a little bit this week. Avengers 10, first Rogue. A little over 30 sales on this one. I know there's rumors, this, that, and the other. Maybe we get Rogue. There's Anna Paquin was supposed to be in Deadpool. I was reading things about that, possibly. Also, reading some connections to Jenny Ortega on SNL. It's surprising what moves books these days. But Rogue is selling again. So, as I said, a little more than 30 sales, 70 to $80. You can find this for raw, condition sensitive. Copies could be a little bit cheaper, could be a little bit more expensive, depending on condition. Another book that's kind of moving late. Like this wasn't selling for quite a bit right out of the gate. We talked about this and reviewed Ambassadors on the TAC show. We've kind of covered all 3 issues that have come out so far. This week we did have the second print released. And as I mentioned on the watch list, I think it was, that my buddy who owns a shop was telling me that like Image isn't overprinting. You can't get a lot of reorders for Images because they're printing basically what is ordered. So some of these new number ones are getting second prints released very quickly because they do get popular once people get them in hand and read them. But the originals may not have as high a print run as what they used to do. There's, like I said, no overstock, no backups in case shops want to reorder. They go pretty quickly, which I think is probably the case with this one because all of a sudden this last week, with a little more than 20 sales, this started selling the cover A, first print, whatever, for like $20 pretty consistently. Whereas like a week or so ago, this was still cover price. So I don't know where this one's now a $20 number one. It's a solid read. Last issue wasn't as great as the first 2, but we'll see where it goes. Still see where it goes. World Tree came out this week. Plethora of covers. A lot of covers, a lot of variants, etc. But nothing really moving the needle for me. So let's go back to this first appearance, little sneak preview kind of thing in this Image number 8. This is starting to sell again. Again, I read the World Tree. It was okay. Kind of curious. Wasn't great, but I'll take a look at the next issue. It's just kind of, I don't know. It just wasn't completely for me. Like I said, mildly curious to see where it's going. But the first appearance of it here, $20 to $40. So if you can find this Image, it's kind of like an anthology, issue 8. It had a $6 cover price on it to begin with. Came out in November, so it's not all that old. But keep an eye on this one because it's back in the cycle selling again because World Tree has finally hit the shelves. I think I got 2 left for you. CinemaCon, I think, was this week, and some people got to see Flash. But with that, they also released a special edition comic for it, The Fastest Man Alive. They are releasing Flash, The Fastest Man Alive, like this mini, I think, kind of adapting or prequel to the movie or whatever, connected to the movie. It's coming, but this cover was only available, limited to CinemaCon. Yeah, so there you go. Pretty cool. Movie poster style. Only saw 1 copy sell, but it sold for $125. There's also a copy out there listed for like $50 and another copy listed for, I want to say it's a little under 100, but 125 ones sold for. So just something to keep an eye on, something to be aware of. And if you're a Flash collector, see if you go secure your copy before it gets crazy. Who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? A lot of buzz around this movie. A lot of people looking forward to it. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm also being a little reserved. You can't trust DC these days. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Looks like it could be good, but I'm still don't want to get too excited. Don't want to get let down. That said, one last book, Star Wars, High Republic. Why is this book selling? There's a few reasons it could be selling. We'll get into it, and they'll get into it on Sunday with Star Wars show, but over 150 sales of this book this week. A lot of people turning this one out. Quest of the Jedi, This was originally supposed to come out in February. It was supposed to be 2 issues. Now it's just a single one-shot issue. It's $6 comic instead of the normal $4 comic, so there's confusion around that. It's sold out in most places online pretty quickly. I don't know if this was starting to get pumped by other areas, but this was selling for like 20 bucks plus before release day. Very quickly, all the justifications in the world of, well, there's multiple first appearances. Yeah, there's multiple first appearances in every Star Wars book. Most of the first appearances don't matter. We don't know if any of these characters will matter in the least little bit. And don't give me first mention of characters either, because mention, like, that's really what we're going to collect. Somebody's name was said, text. Like, is this where we're at? Really? So, I don't know. I get it. I'm going to get my copy of this. I pre-ordered it because I read this stuff and I like Star Wars, but don't get FOMO and don't go chasing this thing, because this thing's selling, 30 bucks, two covers, A and B, set selling for 50. Kind of crazy to me. But that's it. That's our top 10 in 10 for this week. Thank you to all you members. You guys will get to see this first, and everybody else will get to see this on Friday. And yeah, so with that, I'm going to get ready for the draft. All right, later.